Hi. The third project I'd like to highlight with you all is combining fieldwork, environmental issues, GIS, and GPS at the Santa Fe Indian School, relayed by Mark Erickson, Environmental Science and Technology Instructor at the Santa Fe Indian School, community-based education program. Now, since 1997, students at the Santa Fe Indian School community-based education program in Santa Fe, New Mexico, have used GPS and GIS technologies to supplement their fieldwork. Over the years, partners in the Pueblo communities have engaged the students in a broad range of field-based research and projects that address important issues that the tribes are trying to address, including aquatic habitat assessment, wetlands mapping, vehicle-caused erosion, mapping of dump sites, and rangeland studies. Combined with interdisciplinary studies of current, relevant, and important community issues, these experiences have influenced many students who have been through the program to pursue post-secondary education in related science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields, or STEM fields for short. Indeed, many have gone on to work in their own tribal communities, contributing their GPS, GIS, and other skills and talents to solving problems and helping their tribes. The CBE program is designed to allow students and staff the time to travel to their partner communities to conduct fieldwork on a regular weekly basis. Our community partners are the environmental departments of some of the Pueblo tribes near Santa Fe. The types of projects are decided by the partners in a planning process at the beginning of the school year. And often there are situations that arise spontaneously that they are able to take advantage of because of the flexibility of the schedule. GPS collection of study sites and GIS analyses are standard parts of the project documentation process and are often products that the partner community needs. Students use some of their time at school to manage and process the data and produce these mapping products. Students are exposed to and learn about the variety of environmental issues facing tribes. While only some of the students are from the tribes that they work in, they learn about issues that their own tribes must deal with, and that there are different ways of addressing those issues. As the program has developed, the community partners have realized the value of the students' contributions. Often, the work that the students are doing is unprecedented and produces needed baseline data. The emphasis has been on involving the students in producing valuable information that the tribes can use. This is information that the environmental department needs but doesn't have the time, personnel, or funding to commit. Sometimes there are unexpected and fortuitous outcomes from the students' work. One example was the mapping of the edges of a large erosion headcut, an erosional feature that was representative of significant topsoil loss in an area that had suffered from overgrazing by livestock. Gathering coordinates via a GPS of the edges of the headcut banks was a routine application of the technology during a field trip where the students learned from the rangeland specialist about erosion issues in general, how they occur, the significant threat to community sustainability that these erosion features represent, and methods that are used to cease their growth and begin the slow process of mending the land. Back at school, the GPS files were downloaded and overlaid on the available 1 meter resolution digital orthophotograph files for the area using ArcGIS. At this resolution, even though the satellite geometry that day was excellent and the Trimble GeoXH data is usually accurate to within a foot, and certainly to within a meter, the result was disappointing because the erosional feature itself was not very clear in the digital orthophotograph, so no alignment or matching of the GPS data with the headcut could be discerned. Needing higher resolution orthophotography, therefore, a search was made, and incredibly, because of the importance of this area to the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District, it was discovered that 6-inch digital orthophoto quads for the area existed. Once the student GPS files were overlaid on the new images, it became instantly apparent that the extent and rate of growth of the headcuts could be measured. Using ArcGIS's measuring tools, including the knowledge of when the digital orthophotograph had been taken and when the GPS data had been collected, it became possible to measure the rate of headcut growth and develop an approach for estimating the rate of soil loss. In itself, this was very compelling and functional information for calculating the rate of topsoil loss. But this information gave the tribal rangeland specialist useful knowledge for making the case in terms of the urgency of implementing strategies for stopping head-cut growth. This approach has led to a methodology and desire to involve students in the baseline mapping of other head cuts that are eroding the landscape, and developing methods for determining erosion rates and quantifying soil loss in a way of sort of a prioritizing application in their head cut cessation efforts. Another example of how student fieldwork has helped a tribe involves the GPS and GIS mapping of agricultural fields. An approximately 50-acre area of reservation that had been fallow and which had received help from the Bureau of Reclamation to install new irrigation equipment was graded and bermed. Students used GPS units to map the plot, the perimeters and areas, the turnouts, pipelines, valves, trees, and other features. Students in the CBA agriculture class then took soil samples that were sent to New Mexico State University for analysis, and the analysis results were linked to the points in the fields. The overall GPS with plot areas and soil analysis results and recommendations were used by the tribe to help allot the farm plots to community members. This approach was developed as a methodology that could be applied to larger areas of the same reservation that are being readied for farming and for farming areas on other reservations. In addition to fieldwork that had been designed to expose students to real environmental issues and involve them in data gathering and management, students in the CBE program are given the data and GIS tools to create comprehensive maps of their reservations and surrounding areas. Now, most students enter the program with little knowledge of their reservation legal boundaries and the spatial relationships between natural features such as waterways and bioregions and human impact sites. They show them how to use digital orthophotoquads and digital elevation models processed with the ArcGIS spatial analysis extension to derive watershed, basins, and stream channels, and then convert the interest areas to triangulated irregular networks, or TINs, for visualization within the ArcGIS 3D Analyst extension. Along with 1 meter or better digital orthophotography, or 6-inch if it's available, and other available data sets such as shape files and data showing roads, habitation, farming fields, and land ownership, the students develop comprehensive maps of their reservation and surrounding areas. They learn who their neighbors are and their legal jurisdictions so that they are better prepared to protect their natural resources in the future when they begin to fill positions of authority within their communities. Currently, work is being done to develop this process to include possible reservation habitats of listed and candidate threatened and endangered species. Since water is of such critical importance to tribes, particularly in the Southwest United States and elsewhere, practically and culturally, the CBE program helps the students develop a better appreciation and understanding of the nature and extent of watersheds that feed their reservations. Students learn about watersheds in general as an overarching concept, which can be then used to integrate math, science, and social studies. Watersheds are examined to learn and inventory their intrinsic attributes, their biological, hydrological, and geological attributes, and the instrumental uses that humans have made and currently make of them, the habitational, agricultural, livestock, forestry, industrial, transportation, and recreational ways in which the intrinsic attributes are actually used. In this way, students have a basis for developing an understanding of and assessing the health of watersheds that are important to them, and the processes that might be used to develop watershed management plans with the other watershed stakeholders to ensure that the watersheds maintain a healthy balance into the future, particularly with concern for changes in precipitation and temperature patterns that are already manifesting as climate patterns change. GPS and GIS technologies have become core components of this process. Now, there are many ways and levels in which students can use GIS technology in the context of learning about community issues. Through the interdisciplinary study of important community issues, combined with meaningful field experiences and training in the use of technologies like GPS, GIS, and remote sensing, young community members can make valuable contributions to their tribes. This approach also reinforces and enriches the learning of math, science, social studies, and communications concepts. Students have real experiences on which to base their interests. And for many of the students who have been through the CBE program, these experiences have been compelling enough to influence them to pursue related studies and work after high school at the university level, in the private sector, and within their own communities.